After a very heartbreaking episode, we return with Gachiakuta, episode 14. We start this episode off with the cleaner still on the drive. We get to hear this radio, and I believe what we're hearing is actually Present Mike from MHA, so pretty cool. Inside the vehicle, however, everyone is starting to fall asleep. Engine jumps down from this cliff, waking everyone up. So this jump wakes up Rio, and she starts going ow ow. She's in pain. Rudo looks down, and she's got some bruises and some scratches, and it turns out that Rumlin's spell only works on things that are lethal. So we get to hear Tamsy apologize for that, and Engine turns around and kind of hits it with a backslap to Rio. That's the risk you take when you enter no man's land. He follows us up. We should probably get a proper doctor's checkup. And oh, isn't that just so lucky? As Engine is there driving that second, he sees in front of him, hey, there's one close by. Let's take a second to look at this building's graffiti. I really love the door. Rudo is just like, whoa. He says, this city, I feel like I've been here before. As the team begins to make their way down the alleyway, slowly Rudo's memory is getting rejogged till finally he sees the door along with that magical lit up sign. She's back. She's back, guys. After seeing that crazy return, we get a brand new opening spinning right out of it. We come back and we get to see this lady hasn't changed at all, still yelling at people. So after treating a customer telling him to go, we get to hear that Engine likes this lady. In fact, he thinks she's awesome. Oh wow, so we do get to see a photo of her whenever she was younger, and Engine actually tells us something about her. She was a pioneer, the first to treat body pollution. And it's sort of a wholesome but sad thing at the same time. She was studying polluted objects, and one of the side effects or after effects is shouting. After they get done talking about her, we get to hear her yell out, just call me by my name, and she gives us her name. My name is Alice, so this is Dr. Alice, guys. So, there is more to her name. It is Alza Stilza. They do include a last name. Rudo's like, huh? Stilza, after hearing her last name. We then hear shouting, Grandma, Grandma! Someone kicks open the door. And you'll never guess who showed up. This one actually flew over my head a little bit. It is August. That isn't all. There's also an embarrassed Isha holding her brother by the side. And just like that, they treat everyone. August is like, you guys got a car? Take us with ya. And we find out that they actually rode here on motorcycle. So after everyone being treated, we get to go outside. This is where August and Aisha are on the motorcycle getting ready to head out. And we get to hear August say, oh right, the cloud's passing by soon, so you better find a shelter from the trash. Right after they drive off, later then, afterwards Sanka mentions we'll probably hit it on our way back. Rudo's like, huh? And as we look up to the sky, we hear Rudo say, cloud? With a question mark. After coming back from the title card, we see a TV rain from the sky, falling down a cliffside all the way to the ground. All at once, trash starts to rain like crazy. As Rudo watches this, Engine explains, so the spear moves, and along with that, sometimes trash falls. Usually these storms follow the same routes, and safe zones were created to avoid it. In fact, this is actually the clutter that was speaked of that kills people. And Tamsy chimes in here, turns more and more people against the spear as a result. Rudo turns his attention to Tamsy and he continues on. Sadly, anyone who goes up to try and take their revenge is killed by the border. And as they're speaking about this, Rio chimes in, yeah, it's a real mystery. How did Rudo and the angels get past the border? Rudo says, I don't know. And he feels like he remembers something, but he can't remember. His memories are all fuzzy. As Rudo tries to remember, looking forward, all at once it turns black. Then it turns on like a staticky TV. As it begins to clear up, it's just a bunch of squigglies. Whatever we just saw, Rudo just kind of snaps out of it. He's like still deep in it though. The thing that actually snaps Rudo out of it is Engine's ringtone. He's receiving a call. This ends up being Simu who's calling. Engine lets her know that he's going to fill her in whenever he gets back, and Simu goes on that they should go the back way this time. There's a little confusion here, but Simu lets him know that there is an infestation back at HQ. So as they're driving back, Rudo's confused by all this. Backway? Infestation? So I thought this was really cool. On Engine's return to the backway, we see him come to a stop, and there's this button he has to hit in order to open up a doorway. It has like this blah face. He hits it and then it turns to an angry face, and all at once this like garage door opens. So while they're in this garage, you hear Engine refer to these things that they got as bugs, and Rudo's like, you got bugs or something? And of course, Engine says yes. He lets him know it's a breed of pests we call marauders. We get to watch as one of these marauders shoot a rocket launcher at the HQ, and they already give away the reasoning of why they're here. They want to steal Rudo. So as our team is heading back, We come back to these marauders. They are threatening to burn this place out and create an even bigger hole if they don't hand over Rudo. After that threat, we see the speaker retract from the HQ. This is where Simi begins to taunt them. The marauder shouting out goes on about how they're fighting fair, and one of the ones on the side, we get to hear what is happening in reality. They have some guys working on the side, and whatever's going on in the front, this is actually a distraction. So as those guys from the side begin to make their way inside, we go back to the distraction up front. One of the marauders referred to Simu as a woman, and this is where she goes, "Oh, I'm not a woman." Hitting them with a huge psych. Just kidding, see how easily baited you are? They're quite angry after that. Simu then asks, "Are you sure you put a hole in our base?" And they get to looking, and it didn't do anything. Not only that, but the right marauders come over to the leader, and this is where they tell him, "We couldn't get into the building no matter what we did." Right after that, Simu talks over the intercom. "If you want to get in, you need permission." But that isn't it. From the invincible shut-in, we're in this dark room with nothing but trash and food and a TV. Someone's like quivering underneath a blanket, it seems, and we hear them say, "They're attacking us again?" The angle changes to the front. Still, it's really dark. The only thing lighting up this room is this TV. We can't make out their face, but we can see that they have orange eyes. Right after that, we see the HQ doors open, and we hear Simu's voice. "I'm sorry to say, though." Okay, if I noticed anything about this series, it's got a lot of feet in it, and I don't know why. Simu begins to walk out. At the same time, she says, "You don't have that permission." She takes a stop, "So I'll need to run an extermination." I gotta say, she's too bad, guys. "Give me your shot," she calls out. The Marauder leader is angry. He loads up a rocket and says, "You asked for it, lady." He shoots a rocket right at Simu. Her glasses activate, and all at once it's like everything turns to slow motion. So as this rocket begins to come at her, she slowly dodges to the side like it's the Matrix. As things seem to turn normal, she grabs his rocket and spins around with it. She throws it back to the Marauders and it explodes. After a little bit passes, the Marauders begin to come out of the smoke and start raining fire on her. She activates her glasses once again, and of course, it is the Matrix bullet dodge. She did this with her hands behind her back. Not only that, but she was going towards them. And as it returns, she's standing there right in front of them. She stands there staring, aura forming. All at once, it starts off with one upper kick. She beats them all up. The chain continues until all the Marauders are defeated. Right after this huge Simu win, we get to see Engine and the group has finally made it back. With what just occurred, Simu has a question. Who could be spreading word that we've got a Spirit here? And it's like right after she answers herself, "I think I can imagine." Engine responds to her, "Agreed." We get to see Engine look over and he continues, "In fact, I'd wager." It seems that Engine was actually looking at Rudo. We fade kind of out from the HQ, and Engine continues. They're about to start something. There's an episode cut, and we are now in this restaurant with an old man narrating about how he likes this restaurant. And as he's talking about things he likes, it's particularly regulars with excellent hair. We see two people in the back wearing cloaks for some reason. His words himself, "It's so calming to be in a place like this." Wait, he continues on, and there is some confusion here. Or would it be, if they weren't here, referring to our fellow cleaner friends sitting at the table in the background? We get to know that they're regulars as well. Okay, very interesting. Codependents called givers, who live their lives tied to a single object. The old man finds it creepy. We then get to hear this old man speak on each individual of the cleaners here. After he gets done talking about Ryu, this is when we hear her say, "Sorry, Rudo, I accidentally drank your drink." All at once, the old man's eyes widen with fear as he gets to see Rudo. He's just scared for his life as he sees that Rudo's about to blow a fuse. In fact, so scared that he runs straight out of the door. The focus shifts back over to them. Rudo is mad and wonders why they're in this restaurant and eating right after their base getting attacked. Rio lets them know. Right after the job, they grab a meal together. Something to note, I feel like Gris and Rudo are pretty close because I feel like this is who really calmed him down. He explains to him, "Hey, there's a time to rest and, just have some fellowship together." And he also lets Rudo know this isn't the first time they've been attacked anyway. And as they begin talking about the attackers, we get to know that Simu has been taking down these marauders every time. This makes Rudo wonder about Simu's strength because she's the receptionist. And we get Engine explaining some stuff here. Simu's glasses eyes have the power of sight. Okay, technically we already knew that first part, but this next part is sort of interesting to know. They can't be used to beat trash beasts. This gives Ruto another question. Because someone's a giver, does that mean they can't fight trash beasts? And of course, we have Rio who answers, it depends on the giver's personality and how they treat their instrument. This is where Rio explains there are some people that try to protect their instruments from getting unscathed, and this is where they're more likely to become defenders. After hearing this, it excites Ruto to meet other kinds of givers. Afterwards, Injin joins right back to the conversation. Don't worry, the folks on the way have a unique way with their instruments. As Ruto questions folks on the way, we see in first person someone running. They run through the door of the restaurant and they say, "Ta-da!" It appears as though they're wearing some sort of dragon onesie. As they come over, we hear, "I'm here at last, Team Child." They yell out, "Has arrived," and right behind them, we get to see two familiar faces. One who actually got in a fight with Rudo over some sweets earlier. You already know that Rudo remembers, and they have a little stare down here. Till finally Rudo has had it. "Back off, I'm not sharing today." Then we hear the one in the dragon suit say, "It's Rudo." Been a while, they say. Rudo looks back confused. "Who are you?" is what he says, and we get this response. "You don't remember me?" What the heck? I wouldn't even remember. I was in the room with you when you first came to Cleaner's HQ. As the poor little dragon begins to cry, we have the man come in and say, "Sorry, haven't made introductions." So the dragon is Gita Hebi Fantasia. The one that has the pacifier is Santa. So wait, is the one that has the pacifier called Dear Santa then? The man introduces himself and he says, "And I am the leader of Child, rather their supervisor, Bro Santa." From Bro Santa, we also get to learn that Team Child has other members. Gita takes quite an interest in Rudo and asks him what it's like topside. Bro Santa has to come here on the side and be like, "You shouldn't talk about that outside the base." Ijin comes in and explains that there's people listening, and he continues on and we get to find something very shocking. In fact, apparently these marauders actually got their info from some strangers at the bar. Apparently they just walked over to him and passed the info for free. Injun thinks the reason that they would do that for free is to get intel on the Cleaners HQ's defenses without any risk. Gita keeps bugging Rudo about wanting to talk about kaijus, and Rudo just kind of walks off. Back at the table, the group has a theory of who it could be, and it might be the Raiders. After being annoyed by everyone, Rudo takes a seat near the bar. Rudo says something about they should be more alert. Then we have this hooded guy sitting right beside Rudo begin to talk to him. He turns around in the same direction as him. This is what he says. "What's that? Is someone after you guys?" Rudo's just confused. He responds with, "Huh? I don't know." "Bandits or something," Rudo says. The hooded man says, "Bandits? Question mark?" The man then asks, "Are you talking about the Raiders?" The man adds, "That's a scary bunch to have after you. I hear they're searching pretty hard for something these days." We then hear this man ask a question to someone else. "Hey, you remember what it was?" A female's voice responds, "I don't know." The man then tells Rudo, "Better be careful, kiddo." It continues, "Since the Raiders got their new boss, they'll go to any lengths to get what they're after. They become quite a persistent bunch, I hear. If you're not on your guard, they'll snatch up everything you've got." We see Rudo as the man continues to talk. "Oh right, I just remembered." He says, "They're looking for something like these." Rudo begins to turn, and we get to see it's in Moe's boots. The hoods get taken off, and we already know who it is. The mysterious man then grabs Rudo by the neck and says, "I'll give you this info for free. The information that I'm the Raiders leader." At such a bad time, the weather report starts to play on the TV. The Raider leader continues to hold Rudo by the neck, and as this radio is going on, he tells him it's always important to check the weather report. Even if it's a storm for the ages, you can prepare. We then see Rudo knock the man's hand away, and all the Raiders come in at the same time. Rudo goes in to try and punch the leader. Okay, this is insane. So as Rudo's punching in, out of nowhere comes Kathini. She brings out her trash can lid to create this teleporter. In goes Rudo, in goes the boss. And as Rudo is beginning to go through, you have Engine and the other cleaners grabbing onto him trying to pull him out. But in return, they're all getting pulled in. The only ones left behind are the supporters. They're transported into the unknown. All at once, Rudo steps forward, sensing something. And this is where we end off the episode. Both the cleaners and the raiders begin to walk toward each other, and they have an epic face down for the battle we are about to start. So I'm a little sad, but this is still an awesome episode. Second half trailer leaked out quite a bit, and I think they did it for a purpose because it made you want to watch this. You knew it was coming, got you excited, right? I'm excited. The next episode to come, I already know it's gonna be a banger. I already know it's gonna be a banger. But the thing that I thought was quite interesting was that they're getting sucked into this. Essentially, I'm gonna call it a battlefield. It's unknown, but it puts us into this battle that they can now not escape. It's gonna be the cleaners versus the raiders, and the supporters actually not coming with them tells me something. It tells me that all these readers are going to be givers as well. So we got a lot to look forward to. New characters as in enemies, as well as our new characters that we got to meet in this episode showing their powers. So I am quite interested to see what the Santas can do. And of course, our little dragon friend. I have a feeling that we're going to see some kaiju like abilities, which, I just feel like will be so sick. Just so sick. Honestly, though, little disappointed in the episode, like I said. That leak really took away a lot. If I had to rate it, I'm going to say it's a nice 8-8. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on Gachiakuta episode 14. Hope you guys stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.